Good evening and welcome back from your Memorial Day holiday. At least I had a good one. I hope you did. Fun. What'd you think of those gasoline prices? Wow. If you left Illinois, I went into Indiana. I had family there, and I think it was $1 a gallon cheaper where I was. $1 a gallon. I mean, that's rather dramatic from the city of Chicago, 45 minutes away. I mean, wow. You know, and you start filling up a car, you go, it's $20. I run my cars down and then I go out there and fill up, obviously. All right. So today is the 31st of May, 2022, and we have a bounce, at least tonight, going on in the futures again. They fell during the day today. And where the market's at, I think, is this. We had a monstrous break for 7 weeks. We finally got a big rally, a nice one, at the end of the week last week. Gave back a little bit of that today. Okay, big deal. It's not a bull market. This is a bear market rally, in my opinion. It can go further. It can easily hit 10% rally. It only went up when I was looking at a bunch of the indices. So far, you know, you've come off the lows about 6.5%, 7%. There's room if it wants to continue to rally. We don't have a lot of information coming out until Friday to stop it or, if you will, shore up the rally. We get the jobs data. Then we've got, as you know, the FOMC meeting coming. Tomorrow we get to see what Canada's going to do. We have the Bank of England again going to talk, and we're going to have Miss Lagarde. There's a lot going on. The argument that you watch on financial TV is to talk about, has inflation peaked? And that's a good question. It hasn't in energy. I think you can look and see that energy prices are still on a tear to the upside. They have not shown yet a sign that it's over. Natural gas had a big break, but not gasoline, not distillates, and certainly not the crude products. OPEC is discussing now taking the amount of oil that Russia's not producing. You heard what I just said. Russia's not producing a big chunk of what it's capable of producing under the OPEC guideline, and giving that, distributing it to other OPEC members. The last time that came about, there was a huge pushback by Russia on that. I don't know if OPEC's going to be able to get away with it, and if you remember, the last thing OPEC wants is another fight with Russia. Remember what happened to energy prices when they did that last time. So OPEC sounds good, saying they want to produce it. They get a few kudos in the public arena. Russia says, no, you're not taking our production part. They probably won't do it at that point, and who knows where you're at. Even if that oil came on the market, it's not additional oil. It's just oil that we're not producing. But here's the secret. Every time they tell you they're going to produce 400,000 barrels more each month, they never hit the goal anyways. You're not going to get U.S. production to go up. No big U.S. producers believe that there's any money in it. They're not going to build another refinery. We're going green. They're not going to invest in oil wells that cost God knows what and do all this and get them ready. And maybe they'll be ready in 3 months to 6 months. And then the price of oil comes down on them. That's your dilemma that you're dealing. It's a combination of terrible politics in America and the reality of economics. Nice to have these energy prices. I'm going to keep giving the dividends to my shareholders and myself, and I'll make more money as the CEO of the company because I'm making so much money for my guys here. It's not about us, the average guy on the street. When you look at Zoom, is this where it's going to stall again? That becomes the question. It did a great job. It's come here from the just under $80. It went up, folks, up 30%. What do you think it's going to do? Grow to the moon again? It's not. This is what you call a big bounce in a market that came down dramatically from over $150 a share, cut itself in half, and has given you another bounce. But there is a point where it's going to run into resistance. So you've been in an uptrend. You came alive. That's why I brought it on. One of the points of resistance, 120. Obviously, the 200-day average is right there. But where do you think the real resistance is? I know. It's this black line. It's the Bollinger Band. The algorithm of a Bollinger Band is designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. The times that it goes vertical more times than not are some big piece of news, when you just run through it like it doesn't exist for only a short period of time. That 5% of the time number doesn't change. Believe me, it doesn't change. Or you get such a tight series of numbers where this thing narrows in dramatically, and then you can start pushing on it if you break out to the upside or downside. You have a wider band here, so I don't see that pattern. In addition, momentum's overbought. At the end of this video, I have a course called Enhanced Bollinger Bands. Please take a look. Don't just get off. Oh, another thing I want to ask everybody. Hit the subscribe button. That would help me tremendously. You're not paying for these, but the more subscribers we get on it, the better our algorithms within YouTube go, and the advertisers come, and that pays for this show if you want me to stay on. So it doesn't take you to do very much. Hit the subscribe, thumbs up would all be wonderful. I appreciate it. Okay, so you're overbought, you're at a resistance point in an uptrend. I get it, but I think the pros are taking their money off the table here. I'm real disappointed in AMC. I mean, how much more do they want? They got a $150 million movie out of Tom Cruise. He's done his job, and I am sure the Navy, the Air Force, everybody's happy because you're going to get pilots out of this. You did it the last time we had a Top Gun movie, and you're going to get another generation, and we need them. This is a good thing, not a bad thing. In any case, lower low, higher high, right into serious resistance at the upper Bollinger Band. I don't see this market running away, but down here we were talking, I know you remember, and I said, I don't think I want to play, I want you to play the short side going into the summer blockbusters. You got Top Gun, now you got Jurassic Park coming out, and there'll be the other big boys coming out. This is when you let them have their day in the sun. This company's got serious financial issues, big time. All of the movie chains do. Some are better than the others in their cash, but the ones that have borrowed, it's borrowed time. After the kids go back to school eventually, what do you do then? And that becomes the problem. I know, because I own the movie theater, and this hasn't changed. That is the problem with it. So I look for the resistance right through there. Apple, okay. So now Apple's told you we're going to have fewer phones, 220 million, they hope. Now we've got to see, because Beijing and Shanghai, and remember there were another 29 cities that had the lock-ins, as I like to call it, as they're opening, can we get goods made? Can the chip shortages be handled? Can the hardware components that the phones need be done? Any way you go about it, though, this downtrend leg ended. You went basically from the 170s into the 135 area, and right now the market is looking as though, okay, what are you going to do? Well, the next things that come out for this are bullish, not bearish. They're going to be new products, their new phone. I'd be very cautious on the short side. Disney, you couldn't get me short Disney going into the summer when these kids are dying for 2 years to go there and they keep jacking up the price. Are you nuts? Why would you not want to be looking at Disney saying, hey, things are going to get better for Disney, not worse? It's not just the theme parks. They got movies galore coming out now. I'd be very careful. I like Disney down here. I've said that in a long time. XLF, no, I'm not a fan of it. I think you're up to the upper Bollinger Band. I think you're going to have some problems up here now. The market had its huge break. This is a bear market bounce, and now the market's got to prove it can do more. You need to look at the weekly charts. Over the weekend, actually Friday night, I did, for my subscribers, all the weekly charts on these, and I covered everything in great detail to make my point, and then I went away for the weekend. It was great. Now I'm back, I'm rested, and this is what we're getting. We're getting a nice bounce. We're getting markets that had been in this prolonged break, and they're due for a bounce, and the bounce doesn't end at, oh, we got a 3%, 5% bounce. You can get a bounce with a bit more legs. The bigger play is the weekly chart. Where are we in relation to the key averages on the weekly charts? Semiconductors got up to the Bollinger Band. Have you ever watched these Bollinger Bands and just magically how the market decides to stop? Learn how to work with them. The pros came out today. I don't care what you want to tell me. The pros started coming out of this market today. In the home builders, okay, lower low, higher high. It really hasn't gone anywhere from that high to this low. It's sort of stuck in a broad sideways action. Okay. Energy sector, Bollinger Bands will stop it even with all the stories that you hear. Again, you're not in this tight Bollinger range. You started right here, widening that range out, and that doesn't mean it doesn't have more upside potential. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is with an embedded reading, which you have, you hit the band, the pros come in and buy the breaks until the red line closes under 79. And at that point, they go, okay, I don't want to be in that anymore. I'll turn my attention elsewhere and let this work itself out. Until it does that, though, the 79, they'll buy the breaks this market offers. GLD, it's bearish, not bullish. All the market did is rally off the lows into the 18-day average and the 200, and it's fighting a battle there. The bears have the upper hand right now. You're under the 200, the 18. You have to take out right here, 173.52, in order to negate the downtrend. That cannot start a bull trend. It can negate the downtrend, and if that doesn't hold in this area, in other words, if it doesn't do that, you've opened the gate again to come down here because momentum's still up here and just starting to point down. GDX, battlegrounds the 18-day average. Again, a bear market rally into key averages. Open your weekly charts on SPY, all the others, DIA. Open your mind up. Take a look at what they're doing. Copper's one of my favorites. You know, long term, I was asking myself today, this is the funniest thing. I was saying, gee, what do I want to do in parts of my portfolio? And put some money away, and I want to put it into copper. I think copper is the next lithium and that. And you're going to say, Ira, it's an everyday metal, and it is. But they ain't making any more mines. The places where it's being dug out of, the countries are changing. They're anti the miners right now in Peru and the other areas. And you need copper in all these electric cars and all these other parts. And if the world comes out of this malaise and this down that we're having right now and lands on its feet, I think copper is going to be a surprise. It is not a trade for today. It is something you got to think about for the next decade. But I like what I'm seeing there. So I wanted to just share that. I could see it pulling back here real easily. Again, this is off the lows, nice first rally, but instantly overbought, not embedding. AGG, the bond share here, got up to the Bollinger Band. Did you ever embed? Okay. Nope. Not there. Day one of embedding Thursday. Friday, you had 2 days of embedding. And today you did not embed. You just have an overbought market. You're supposed to come out against the upper Bollinger Band the way I teach this in that course. And in the dollar's in a bear phase, not a bull phase. If you look at the futures, they're embedded bearish. Until the red lines close over 21, what do you want to be doing? You want to be selling the dollar on the rallies. Yeah, selling. It's the exact opposite of what you hear from all the pundits. Dollar's so strong. Other currencies are stronger now. They're all raising their interest rates. When that changes, fine. But would I do it in this vehicle, UUP? Are you embedded? Both numbers are under 20. Both are under 20. Both are under 20. So the answer is yes. It's that simple. And I'll cover that in the morning if you're a subscriber, or if not, if you come into my morning, well, actually, you'd have to be a subscriber in the morning to see where I'm going to do that. I'm just thinking that through. My morning newsflash won't do that. As I said, learn. How do you learn? Take a look at this. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.